Hi, my name is Vinny Alejandro. I'm a mural artist here in Buffalo, New York. I started in the graffiti world back in the 80s. Um, this wall behind us is a representation of mid to late 90s, the golden era of hip hop. Um, Sky's the Limit is the title of the mural. This is the song Sky's the Limit. My song is Sky's the Limit by Notorious B.I.G. That's what this wall is based off of. But it's a representation of the transition from street art graffiti to mural art. This probably was somebody who, like me, started out in the graffiti world and was starting to transition into doing, murals for neighborhood communities and things like that. Um, Very popular in New York City, handball courts, school play yards, things like that, where they would get graffiti artists to come in and do the walls. And, it really represented the community because most of the artists were from the area that where they were painting these walls. Um, Unfortunately, like I said, don't know who did it, but at this time, I had done already some street art projects in Buffalo, and some graffiti at the time before that in this neighborhood. As I grew up with Sarah right down here, so this was kind of my spot to hone my talent as a street artist. But it's a very good example of 90s style graffiti transitioning into a mural uh, uh, based project for a community. So it's probably the best representation of street art, old street art in Buffalo. There's hardly any that are this old. I used to have two in the old First Ward from the 90s, and they're both gone. But this is probably going to stay for as long as the projects are here. It's always been something of protection. I mean, it only has one small tag on it, which is unbelievable for something running this long to only have that small tag on it. That's a show of respect for the artist who did it. So, um, this is the Sky's the Limit mural.
And that's like uncommon, right? Because street art and graffiti these days don't always get along perfectly.
Especially now.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially now there's a street art graffiti riff where a lot of New York City, they're hiring artists to come in and do murals, and the graffiti artists that are still on, the graffiti scene are going over them. Unfortunately, we bump heads a lot because some of us started in the graffiti world and now we're doing murals, so we're bumping heads with kids that are in the graffiti scene, and it's like, wait a minute, we're the older group. And if they know that, usually they give respect. Usually if they know the artist and they know you're established in the graffiti world, then they leave you alone. Most of my murals, like the old First Ward history mural, no one's touched it, and it's almost 10 years now. So, and that's just because I have a connection with the street artists and graffiti artists in Buffalo. So,
And do they know you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, they know me. It took a while at first, the whole not a cop that they really got to know me, and I started inviting them to graffiti events and stuff like that. So, I have a little bit of a connection with them, and also a little heads up. Hey, I did this wall. Tell everybody don't touch it.
Yeah.
So, it's always good to have that connection. But
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I feel like our generation, like, were the first people doing sort of the big murals
Right.
and the street art installations and stuff like that. And now you have the younger generation who doesn't always understand
yeah,
exactly.
you're right. And
Yeah.
respect is something that's really hard to teach, to these kids. And it's, being almost 50 years old, it's kind of like, I'm trying to tell them, hey, look, I don't mind what you do, just don't do it on this. Here's an alternative. That's also the thing too. It's like, if they're good, I try to tell them, look, you can make money doing this. Stop doing it on the street. It's people ask me all the time, do you regret anything you did when you did graffiti? I regret not keeping all that paint for it. It hurts the wallet sometimes. So, but yeah, this is definitely an awesome representation. It's one of my favorites. And when I came back to Buffalo, it was one of the first ones I seen. That was an actual street art mural.